DJ, we're in a video. Where are you?
DJ.
Conor just tweeted. What did he say? Although I don't know if it's related. It was just a picture of him with Owen Roddy in the back, in the background. And
The great thing about this guy is he's a great talker at the end of the day. This guy talks for a living. It doesn't matter. See how patronizing or how well he puts his sentences together when he's talking to people to make himself out to be. Yeah. The reality is, this guy is basically just one of those little fuckers who creates tension between people, ultimately. Like, that's what his key skills lie in that area. His key skills are basically provoking people. He provokes people and he creates news out of nothing, basically, this guy. That's what he is. So, and he talks about combat as if he's a complete master guru. But this guy basically sits in his mum's house and plays with his fucking little dick, man. See his little fucking happy Hanukkah fucking thing.
Look at that virgin
fucking
nose.
puts up his ass. He's looking, exactly, he's got a fucking virgin nose. This guy has not even exercised before. Like this, well, I tell a lie. I take that back. He's went into like some little fucking public gym or something like that, and he's walked on a treadmill for 10 minutes or something like that. Then felt good about it and had sex with his wife and then felt fucking really strong afterwards. But the thing is, this guy, he's never trained martial arts. He hasn't even thrown a punch. Like, never mind correct punch. Never mind like fucking... He hasn't even thrown a punch. You see what I mean? But these guys talk as if they know. Like these guys have felt it. They've been in there. They've been in the heat of the moment. Have you fuck? You've not seen anything. So, if I was in the position of a lot of these fighters, I wouldn't give this guy the status that they give him. I would go on his show and take advantage of the show and just fucking completely call this little fucker out. Call this little weasel on every single aspect of martial arts. And rip his fucking head off and shove up his ass. And then get basically more publicity by going on to his show. Use his show. Instead of going on and giving him ratings by giving him exclusives and giving him exclusive time and rights over stuff and all. And opportunity over your whatever news or material you've got. You know what I mean?
Here's that prick, like.
He's a complete snake of a human being. And he's basically moved in and made a lot of money in art. And has gained a lot of influence in martial arts without even fighting. Without even putting himself in any risk. Without nothing. Like, you know what I mean? And he's in there somehow. You type in UFC or MMA, this guy's face will pop up. That's how sneaky this son of a bitch. Well, this son of a bitch is. You know what I mean? But when I say these, I mean journalists in general.
Alright.
Are we fucking live right now? What? Well, see, the thing is, this guy, the guy who's talking as well, that's sitting there talking.
That New York prick.
He's basically, you know what he is? He's another fucking guy that clings on. He sucks his dick, basically. He sucks Ariel's cock. And Ariel gives him a fucking chance to come on. And that other, like, see that house Negro Arab fucking guy? House fucking nigger Arab guy who's like a complete fucking, you know what I mean? He's like a fucking Egyptian Arab or some shit. You know what I'm talking about?
No. What's the name?
The MMA something. It's like a hub, the MMA hub. It's like this little weasel looking fucker, another guy, and that's the Arab guy. And sometimes they do this cohesion, all the little bitches they do a cohesion thing with Ariel Hawaii.
MMA beat. They all get together
Is that
and
it?
beat each other.
Is that it? Aye, MMA
so.
beat or some shit. Aye, MMA fucking beat off our man, they beat each other off, the little fucking gays. Basically, you know what they do? These guys do, they fantasize over these champions and all, these fighters, like their bodies, ripped, sweaty bodies and all. They probably fucking finger each other while fucking watching that shit. You know what I mean? Enough about these faggots. But this Conor McGregor and Mayweather situation that's brought all of these armchair fucking wise men, you know what I mean? These like, you know what I mean, all these fucking people who they've never fucking dropped a sweat, like in a gym. They've never, like in a martial arts environment, a training environment, a combative environment. They've never even seen.
Never watched more than 10 boxing matches.
They probably, the only time they ever know, like, it's relevant in their life is when these big pay-per-views come out, and basically these big companies and corporations target them like fuck, and basically put it in front of their eyes. That's the only time they pay attention. Like right now, this McGregor Mayweather thing, is basically in front of everybody's face in everyday life. So that's why people are paying attention to it. 'Cause that's why they're good at their job, these promotions. They promote the fucking fight. They get us to want to watch that shit. And then, you know what I mean? That's what they do. And they do a fucking good job doing it. You know what I mean? That's why you have casual fans. That's what a casual... These fuckers are that smart, these promotions. They create a fucking market inside of a market, which is the casual fan. So you've got fans, and you've got casual fans. So within a market segment, they create a market segment. They're fucking G's, you know what I mean? That's how they get... That's how you've got Tom, Dick and Harry, little fucking fanny balls, man, who've never fucking trained martial arts, never been in a contest, never been in a fight in real life or nothing, never even thrown a punch, never been under any type of pressure in their life. And they're debating about this fight, and they're sitting debating about guys who have been doing this since they were children, who have sacrificed everything. You know what I mean? Even McGregor, like, you know what I mean? Mayweather, like, I'm a Mayweather fan, but initially I was a big fan of McGregor as well, until he fought Nate Diaz. I'm still a fan of McGregor. I think he's a great fighter, and he's a great, unique talent, and he's a unique athlete that comes along, like once, you know what I mean, every 10 years, like that type of thing.
Yeah.
But he's up against, basically, you can say, like, while I've been alive, you know what I mean, while we've been alive, you're talking about the greatest boxer. You're talking about the lineage of the great legendary boxers of all time. Mayweather's in that line, you know what I mean? And you've got basically what it's similar to a guy who's a swimmer and he's jumping in the ocean to take on all the natural elements of the ocean, or a guy who's a champion inside an Olympic pool. It's kind of like that. He's jumping right into the ocean going against Mayweather. You know what I mean? Because it's the best boxer. It's the best boxer who knows everything about the ring. He knows when to do things. He knows what to do, when to do it. He knows what to throw, what not to throw. And you know what I mean? The guy's got the game sussed out to a point where elite high-level fighters, they can't touch him. But these spare dicks who are fucking sitting on their fucking armchairs and all, they're talking now as if a guy like McGregor, who is an elite fighter, he's a 2-division champion in MMA, but his punching, his boxing, it's just not something that's going to trouble a guy of Floyd's level, a guy of Floyd's caliber. He doesn't bring anything that unorthodox and that out of the ordinary. You know what I mean? That's going to trouble a guy of Mayweather's level.
I don't think so.
You just gotta let me fucking go crazy all the time. You need to fucking cough up, man. You need to speak, say something, man. Fuck's sake. Fucking way.
Just fucking listening to what you're saying.
Yeah, these guys like Ariel Helwani, they really make you hate what's the sport of mixed martial arts, what it's became, because it's given a voice to a lot of people who shouldn't have a voice. You know what I mean? And it's basically,
this guy's a knobhead though. He's got no
place, and
he's got no morals in all the way he approaches his work. He's
the interesting thing
selfish.
Is every single one of them, they're all McGregor dick riders. I like McGregor. Like, I think he's a great fighter and all, but he's got way too many dick riders, and Dana White dick rides the fuck out of him. You know what I mean?
They should have made a third Diaz fight.
Like, that's a whole different conversation, right? That's a fucking whole video in itself, man, talking about that situation, man. You know what I mean? But like this McGregor calling out, like bringing Pauli M in for sparring and stuff like that. They know he's retired. He's not boxed in a while. Anybody who's trained for even a month solid knows that when you stop training after that, all of your ability, a lot of your skill, a lot of your timing and understanding of combat and all that, not your understanding, but your sharpness, your basically execution of moves are off. completely. From like, when you're training consistently and then you stop training altogether for, let's say, a long period of time. Doesn't matter if you're world class or whatever, you still deplete majorly. And it's a process building that back up, and things start to come in slowly and slowly. So I agree with what Pauli was saying, that as the camp goes on, he would have been smashing McGregor. He would have been outclassing McGregor. But I'm not surprised that McGregor gave him trouble in sparring. I said it. I thought. I said it before. Like it was like said. I was like, yeah, McGregor will probably give Pauli a lot of trouble because Pauli's a lot shorter. He's completely out of shape. You know what I mean? If Pauli was completely like if he was completely in shape, right, proper in shape the way he's been against like Zab Judah, guys like Zab Judah, even against guys like Amir Khan, and like, even against what he was like against Broner, that type of sharpness, like against McGregor would have been a completely different story. You know what I mean? But the thing is that my problem isn't that Conor got the better of the sparring a wee bit or this or that, or Pauli never done good or done bad or what. Like, if you won a world championship once, that doesn't mean that's just going to stay with you forever. And McGregor's not a bum. He's a 2-division champion in MMA, and who can, he dominates with his hands. He came over, and now he's doing a boxing fight, and he's sparring with the likes of Pauli Malignaggi. I expected him to give Pauli hell because McGregor's in elite fucking shape, man. And all these dumbasses, they're like giving Pauli such a hard time. Because Pauli's been called in. He does 8 rounds with the guy, right? He admits that, right? Obviously, the guy's, he's out of retirement. So he has 8 rounds. He says McGregor got the better of the 8 rounds kind of thing. Okay. Pauli goes away, does a little bit of running and stuff, a little bit of training, gets his fitness up a tiny bit. What's he gonna, how much of a change is that gonna be in a couple of days? Goes by,
it's within a week he goes away and trains.
They call him back in, right? He flies back in. This is a guy who works for ShowTime and all. Like he's, like this is what these idiots who are sitting in their houses wanking themselves off, and then they're talking shit about Pauli Malignaggi and this and that. They don't realize that the guy works all the time, right? And he lives very comfortably, so he eats whatever he wants, he does whatever he wants, kind of thing. There's no restrictions on him. Gets the opportunity to get called in to spar with McGregor, goes for it, thinking that, like, obviously they're not gonna fucking pure test him, like, you know what I mean, go for him like that.
He never thought he was getting set up.
He never thought he was getting set up because within this game, obviously, there's certain codes and there's certain ways of doing things. You know what I mean? You don't talk about sparring like as if it's a big deal. You know what I mean? Because anybody who's trained for a length of time knows that people who talk about them doing well in sparring, they're usually not good fighters. They're usually like more of gym fighters type thing. Because like us, me and you back in 2013, training in Brazil, training in X-Gym, well, a lot of UFC fighters, a lot of like professionals and stuff like that. And there's certain guys we're doing well against, certain guys we're getting smashed up. There's some guys we're training with who are meant to be really good, and we're doing well in positions and all that. You don't talk about this stuff today. You don't. That doesn't mean shit, because that guy would fuck us up in a fight, like in an actual MMA fight, because he's experienced and he's relaxed under the pressure and all that. And you know what I mean? Like we're just in the gym and we're training, and like he could have had an off day. Like there's so many factors. You know what I mean? You just don't talk about training like as if it's a big deal, like you fucking achieved something out of it, you know what I mean? So the thing is about the average Joe blog, they just talk shit. They've never trained a day in their life, so they don't realize these things. And wankers like Ariel Helwani, he's never fucking trained, so he doesn't even know to mention this shit, you know what I mean? But yeah, man, enough about this fucking son of a bitch, man. Fuck this motherfucker, man. I'm gonna fucking like this shit, man. Just fucking cut this shit now, man. It's been over 10 minutes, man. These motherfuckers can wait for another one when we're ready.
Alright. Okay.
Cut that shit.
I just want to quickly say something about that as well.
Go for it, man.
Quickly.
Go for it.
Turn that video off. You can turn the volume down on this. Over here.
That's this is Kami Galani.
They don't need to know.
We're twin brothers. We're actually twin brothers. We're making these videos basically because we watch a lot of these videos ourselves. We go surf through the fucking internet day and night, you know what I mean, in between whatever time we've got. And we generally don't watch TV anymore. And it's been a lot of years since we fucking paid attention to what the fuck's going on with TV and shit. We noticed that there's a lot of guys making an impact, and they're doing quite. They begin to gather a bit of a following and all.
They're doing fuck all.
Talking about martial arts, talking about combat sports, it seems to be a real niche. It seems to be a real area that people are paying attention to.
Especially this clickbait stuff where people are scared to show their face, all these MMA channels, but what they'll do is copy and paste Twitter posts, Instagram posts, videos, and what they'll do is they'll download the footage and edit together their own little shitty video. And it's like a slideshow coming up with showing you different information, like a news sort of feed thing.
Yeah,
like all the that's just clickbait bullshit, man. They're too scared to make their own actual content.
Absolutely. The thing is with these guys, nobody calls them on the fact that they don't know what the fuck they're talking about.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. The reason
we're the type of motherfuckers that basically, the reason why we're making these videos is we want to make more. We're not saying that we're fucking experts or anything, and we're nowhere near fucking
even
experts.
Bruce Lee wasn't an expert, and he even said that himself.
We're lifelong martial artists, and we love this game a lot, and it actually hurts us to see the wrong kind of way, the wrong kind of messages being sent out, and basically these journalists that are representing like combat sports, they just present certain fighters and certain things in the complete wrong light. There seems to be a lot of agendas, a lot of political bullshit, and the reason why that exists is because a lot of these guys are not martial artists, man, and that's
that's a key point.
It's a key point, man, because me
they're just showbiz people.
Yeah, but me and my brother, we've actually trained martial arts our whole life. We're not fucking great fucking fighters or anything like that. You know what I mean? I fucking shit myself like any fucking average person. I can get beat the shit out of, but just like anybody, you know what I mean? Just because I know some stuff doesn't mean fuck all. But we've trained extensively in martial arts, and we train religiously because it really is a part of our life.
It's a lifestyle.
I believe it's important if you're going to talk about this shit to at least fucking walk the walk a little bit as well. So that's why we believe that we are going to represent the guys who have been basically involved in martial arts their whole lives and have a more accurate way of looking at certain events and certain things that happen in the combat world.
It's a clearer perspective.
Yeah, we're giving our fucking perspective. We're giving the fucking TWINZ perspective. You know what I mean? The SKTWINZ perspective on this shit. And I reckon a lot of people are gonna like our videos because, like, we're not fucking trying to be anything we're not. This is literally something that we've been into since we were little kids. You know what I mean? We've always fucking wrestled, we've always fucking boxed, we've always like sparred and like fucking hit the bag and shit and like put the gloves on and just beat the fuck out of each other with our friends and all.
Since we were little kids.
This is before we even started doing actual classes and shit, you know what I mean? So like we've been involved with this shit for a long, long time, so like...
We run our own gym now as well.
Yeah, man.
So it just gives it away, we pretty much live it, breathe it.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's how we think of it.
So yeah, these videos are basically us just talking about martial arts, and hopefully people enjoy the way we cover shit and the way we basically.
Shut up, man! I wanted to say something about the Floyd fight. It's the fact that fucking so many people that are interested in this fight all of a sudden, and like, they'll never ever watch fights, they'll never ever watch boxing events, they'll never watch any form of combat sports, and then something like this pops up and everyone's excited, everyone knows about it, and everyone's got an opinion. And it's not annoying, but it's annoying that there's so many people who don't actually know anything, or they're not involved with the sport or martial arts in any sort of way, are chiming in, giving their 2 cents about every single detail about this fight, building up towards it from on both sides, man. And that even goes for fucking both sides Klingons, Mayweather's Klingons and McGregor's Klingons as well. Whether that's Dana White clinging on to fucking McGregor, or if it's like those fight hype and all those other fannies that are clinging on to everything Mayweather says.
It's the ball clingers that piss me off with McGregor as well. That almost makes me not like him and makes me not want to see him do well. because
I've got nothing against McGregor.
nobody can
He's
deny.
a real martial artist.
He's a true martial artist, he's a warrior. Nobody can deny though how
See
hard
the
it's
way-
been for Mayweather to get the money that he's getting, like the way he's getting his money now, and the way
and
the
that's
rights
what
he's
I was
got his
getting-
pay-per-view.
That's what I was getting to. That's the main thing for me is I was going to get to that point is how much disrespected Floyd is compared to McGregor. McGregor acts the same way Floyd always acted since midway through his career. As soon as he switched from Pretty Boy Floyd to Money Mayweather,
McGregor's completely ripped off Floyd's
blueprint,
blueprint.
that
It's
blueprint.
completely fucking.
and it's just the see the way that like the fans basically and the media outlets, all of the big ones, ESPN, the fucking you name it, man. Every single one of these people, man. The way they've always written Floyd off and said, "Oh, he's arrogant, he's cocky, he's this and he's that. He's not a role model. He's not a sports athlete. He doesn't deserve to be on this sort of stature, sort of celebrity." And then when McGregor does the exact same thing, he stole it, carbon copied it, man. And everyone praises him for it. He's a hero. And in Ireland, he's like a god. He's literally like a hero all over the world. Everyone loves him.
Well, you look at this Larry Merchant and all, like even these.
I just don't. Basically, just to finish off on that, I don't like double standards. That's my point. I fucking hate hypocritical shit like
That's
that.
the society we live in.
Yeah, and it's nothing to do with Mayweather being black and him being white and all. I'm not getting into that bullshit at all. What I'm just talking about is the hypocritical shit.
Deep down
Mayweather-
inside, though, everybody knows why everybody wants McGregor to knock him out so bad.
Yeah,
You know what I
but
It's not a secret why.
and yeah, he's more appealing. We'll just say McGregor's more appealing, right?
yeah.
We'll just say that. And
It's more appealing.
the fact that they found someone that's more appealing, they've run with what he does. And just to finish off on this is just in MMA as well, especially in the UFC, the two Nick and Nate Diaz, the Diaz bros have been doing the same sort of blueprint for years, because I've watched them literally since we were little kids. I watched Nick's whole career, Nate's whole career from the start, and they've been doing this same thing, like their attitude and like being, you know what I mean, just not giving a fuck, not caring about any sort of authority, any sort of structure, and just being wild and being raw. They done that first, and the UFC completely shunned them for it. Even though they're guys that you could easily build up, and they're guys who completely, from an organic following, have got a massive following and are both pay-per-view draws. But that's a little bit of a side point. Just again, I'm just bringing up the fact that they're both.
They pick and choose who they want to build up and who they
Yeah.
want to make successful. Ultimately,
So that's
I
annoying
know what
to
you're
me.
talking about. Like it's as a double standard there, because one guy can be extremely talented, but he'd be completely denied. Like in the sport of boxing, we see it all the time. It's completely disgusting. You've got, even currently right now, a guy who I've not really been paying attention to recently, but more recently, he's more and
Vasyl
more.
Lomachenko.
No, not Lomachenko. Fuck him, man. Like it's becoming more and more undeniable. This Guilherme Regondo guy.
Regondo,
This guy, like he's
two-time gold medalist.
he's undeniable, and like the fact that they don't give him any fucking coverage, they give him no respect. It's just fucking, it's disgusting. You know what I mean? Because the guy who would whoop that Lomachenko, and we all know why.
Terence Crawford in that.
We all
division
know
as well.
why Lomachenko's getting the fucking. He's getting all the build up, all the press, all the respect and all, and Regondo's not. Regondo is fucking Cuban, right? American journalists, Western journalists, generally speaking, they've got a problem with Cuban athletes and all, like Cuba in general. The fact that Cuba do well in sports is a bit of a thorn in their side. Okay, I'm not saying anything that's fucking unknown here. Anybody who's fucking knows that 2 + 2 is fucking 4 knows what I'm talking about here, you know what I mean? Like America, typically, like generally speaking, they've always had a problem with Cuba. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So,
But I just wrap this up though. Anyway, like we've got nothing against McGregor as a person, as a martial artist, because he's a G.
yeah,
He's proven
absolutely,
himself
absolutely.
by showing up every time, and the way he's diligent with his training, his focus. Maybe things a bit weird that he's always includes that Ido Portal dork, man, every time. But other than that, man, he knows.
He's a smart motherfucker at the end
He's
of the
really
day.
smart.
To wrap it up,
And this fight isn't bad that it's happening. We're not saying that in any way, shape or form. It's actually good for combat sports because it brings a lot of eyes to the game. but it's mostly the double standards in the way they're marketing things. That kind of stuff pisses us off because it doesn't really show the correct kind of respect for Floyd. And even for McGregor, because they make it too much about this bitchy shit and they're trying to make it about race and all that shit. And that just ruins the whole fucking thing. Really.
Yeah, what they're trying to say, like McGregor is being racist, like that's complete bollocks.
Because
like,
he's quite clearly talking about the celebrity gym.
When Rocky's when he's too fucking full of himself and he's fighting Clubber Lang and Clubber Lang's taking it seriously and he's got fucking all sorts of orchestras and people blowing bubbles and playing fucking the saxophone and shit.
Clubber Lang's doing fucking,
you know what I mean,
lifted fucking setups, man, and he's got Mad James Brown jazz in the background, man.
Yeah,
playing a wee rusty speaker out of his fucking wee ghetto blaster.
Yes, you can't call somebody racist if they're not racist. You know what I mean? Like McGregor never said that, so like, you know what I mean, that's bullshit. But you can't deny the privileges he's had in his life compared to a Floyd Mayweather. That can't be denied. You know what I mean?
That's clear.
With Floyd's background, it's so publicly known, his background and the way he was raised and the environment he was raised in, the kind of society he was surrounded by, and like McGregor, where he grew up, and the way his family is, it's complete contrast.
Exactly.
Of you know what I mean, a background.
And if you think Floyd Mayweather beat the shit of his wife and done all this other shit, then you just need to realise one little thing, is that stories always have two sides to them. And you shouldn't formulate your opinion knowing one side of a story, because you don't know what that man's been through in his life building up to this point. I'm not saying he's an angel, but that kind of shit always seems to happen to these high profile athletes.
Yeah.
And it's always done to just tarnish their name.
And everybody know that fucking hoes want money.
Hoes always want money, and that's always the way it is, and that's always the way it's been.
Hoes want money, ain't nothing funny.
But Money Mayweather's clearly a good dad. If you see his kids, the way he looks after his kids, they all look like
two
they're
of
living amazing lives.
Two of his kids are fucking going to college, and one of them's fucking bigger than me, man. He's fucking only 18 or something like that. They're fucking like well looked after kids, you know what I mean? And like what the fuck are we talking about, man? This is Floyd Mayweather we're talking about. Like, his kids are all set for life.
They're set for life. They
don't
have to worry about him. So he's clearly a good guy. McGregor's a good person on all inside.
But the interesting thing is, both these guys have stayed loyal to who took them to this position.
And who took them to this position?
They've kept guys who were there from the start, along with them all the way to now. So this is something that people should think about. That look at what type of guys these two are.
These two
They're
guys are at the pinnacle right now.
They're both very special athletes, and what are they? They're both extremely loyal to the people who helped them and guided them and mentored them. You know what I mean? These two guys, like the loyalty and the love that they've got for their coaches and their training partners, and that's what makes you a champion. That's what makes you a true fucking legend, and you transcend sports. And that's what these two guys are. The two guys are transcend sports. They transcend a fight, you know, a mere fucking boxing match. Like what they're going out there, man. They're gonna give us a fucking show, man. You know what I mean? They're gonna give us a fucking show. McGregor looks awesome. Floyd looks awesome. Like, maybe McGregor's not got the best. He's not nowhere near the level of Floyd in boxing. But you know what? He's got some fucking self-belief.
And that counts for a lot.
He's got some fucking work ethic.
We just want to
you know what I mean?
Finish up here, man. It's SKTWINZtv. Just giving you another little video breaking down a lot of different little topics and how the media covered the sport. Follow us, give us a like, subscribe to our page on YouTube. Got all our social media links on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Google+. Check us out. We're martial artists giving you videos and breakdowns of fights from a true perspective of people who actually train every day and who live and breathe martial arts. So yeah, we'll be back with some more videos soon, man. Take it easy for now. SKTWINZtv.